All the titles of our books and authors today are all fascinating, but this next author is absolutely incredible because I've talked to him on the telephone. But the title of his book is absolutely wonderful. It's called Smother. First of all, that makes me think of mother, and then it also makes me think of smothering someone. So first of all, Adam Chester, welcome to the show. Tell me a little bit how you came to come up with that intriguing title.
I think it just came to me one day when I realized what and who my mother was and is.
How old were you when that happened?
About 4.
About 4.
And I've been planning for this my whole life, I just want you to know.
Okay.
But she's a smothering mother. She always has been. And that doesn't mean I dislike her, I hate her, I have any ill will towards her. But I have needed a heck of a lot of therapy, and
Professional therapy?
Every kind of therapy you can mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has it helped you?
I'm not really sure. It helped the book, let's say that. The book was able to come out from all the therapy that I undertook.
How did this come about? I mean, did you one day say to your mother, "Listen, Mom, this is absolutely awful. I can't stand it anymore.
Oh, no.
I want to write a book"?
No. She had no idea. First of all, the book is basically, I've collected about 1,300 letters from my mother.
Good heavens.
And, she loves to write, and I'll explain that in a second, but I saved all these letters in a huge box because I knew one day I'd need them as evidence that this was happening. So the day came when my wife said, "You know what? You've got this huge box in the garage. Please go in there and see what's it all about." And I went in there and I was opening letters for the very first time because I would get letters from my mom and just put them in the box unopened because I couldn't bear to read any more letters about grapes being good for my bowel movements. I just... There had to be a limit, so...
But what if she said to you, "Adam, did you get my letter about?" I mean, would you just sort of...
Well, I have to say yes, yeah. I'd have to say yes, because I'm sure I got it. I mean,
Okay.
But it was in this box, and one day I opened it up and started going through it, and I started this blog that was based on a title of one of her letters. That was, "Please don't eat sushi, love, Mom." And that was the letter. And it came with an attachment, this little... newspaper clipping about how they found this huge worm in a man's stomach from eating sushi.
Oh my goodness.
So it became my life's intent at that time to do nothing but eat sushi because I like sushi, so that's where it all started.
But did you tell your mom, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to write a book about this"? And if you did she say, "Adam, absolutely not"?
No. In fact, the book came as quite a surprise to her.
I'm sure it did.
And my agent made me, or requested, that I have my mom sign a legal document so she couldn't sue me. And so, "Mom, do you mind signing this? It's a little paper, nothing, And of course she did, and here we are today. And now she loves, she's a little mortified by the fact that people are reading this, but then again, she loves this. This is what she's always wanted because she's getting to spend more time with me.
For people out there who are aspiring writers and journalists and all, knowing how hard it is to get an agent, let me ask you that question. How hard was it to get an agent for you?
It came about in a very interesting way. It wasn't that hard, but I don't want to toot my horn here. I mean, I knew that I had something that people could relate to. And everybody's got...
A smothering mother.
Either they have a smothering mother, they know a smothering mother, or like this wonderful woman I was speaking with out there, had the complete opposite mother, who didn't care to the sense of worry. So I'm finding, and my mother is meeting a lot of people when we've appeared together, who relate to this. And I love that people are getting this.
But getting back to your agent, how did you find an agent?
How did I find an agent? Well...
you Googled it probably.
No. It was through a friend who referred me, and I got this agent at William Morris. It's a wonderful agency. It's a wonderful book publishing company. Abrams Books. They do Diary of a Wimpy Kid. They're terrific.
You obviously have a very offbeat sense of humor, and you and I really connected on the telephone.
Yes.
Does your mother have that same kind of, I don't want to say crazy, but that, you know,
Oh,
really...
no, please say crazy.
Crazy?
Please say it again. No, my mom is nuts, but she's a different kind of nuts. You know, she's very organic in the things that she says, and it's been hysterical watching her relate to normal people when we do these book tours, and the things she comes up with are phenomenal.
How does she feel, though, about you calling her nuts?
She would agree. She's the first person that would agree that she's absolutely certifiable, which makes this all the more great because I'm not saying something she doesn't already know.
How long has the book been out?
Since May 1st.
Wow, that's really brand new.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to do a follow-on?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, how many letters have you got?
There's about 1,300, but the next one is going to be Smother-in-Law.
Smother-in-law?
Yeah, I think so.
So that raises...
My poor mother-in-law is probably going to watch this and go, oh, no, it's not. Not going to be that.
So you've got letters from your mother-in-law?
No, that would have to take a different sort of vein because she's nuts in a different way. But I'm surrounded by nuts, is the bottom line.
And let me ask you the same question I've asked the other authors here. What advice... It's always interesting when you watch a show like this to talk to, you know, experts, and you're obviously an expert writer. What advice would you give to someone that wanted to write a book? And this is obviously a very offbeat type of book.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very difficult to sell and market something offbeat. What advice would you give to someone that is trying to do that?
My advice is to save everything.
Save
Save letters, save notes, save anything that you can that that rings true to you, that you'll want to write about one day,
Okay.
which is what happened with these letters.
I guess the last question is, what has been the proudest moment of your life, especially as it refers to this book publishing?
To this book, okay, that's a good question, and the answer is my 8-year-old son and I were walking into a Barnes & Noble, and he saw my book on display, and he said, "Dad, that's your book." And I thought, oh, that was just a very proud moment.
Very touching,
Yeah,
very
it was
touching.
very cool.
Thank you for coming in. You've been a really nifty interview, and Brits are
Thank
noted
you.
for understatement. It's always good to talk to, you know, really, really with it people. You certainly are with
Thank
it,
you.
and thank you very much for
That's
coming
a
in.
pleasure. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.